Got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you quite possibly have self-sabotaged or are self-sabotaging your relationship? Hi, Jay from Jayson Mair Coaching, your relationship coach, answering your relationships questions for this week's episode of Ask Jay. Thank you for joining us. Now, on March 1, it is now known as Self-Harm, Self-Injury Awareness Day. This day is to bring awareness to self-harm, self-awareness, and this week's question is also another form of self-harm, which is self-sabotaging. So, as I get to the question from Rob, a guy has sent in a question this week. This is a shortened version. It was a big long email, but I've shortened it down. His question is, it has been just over a year with my partner. I love her dearly, and we now have a baby coming, but I feel I'm starting to ruin what we have. How do I stop self-sabotaging my relationship? This is a question that is going to be addressed a little differently this week. Normally I'll give you 3 tips on how to deal with this. But after sitting down and having a bit of a brief, long discussion with my team, we've decided to do it a little differently. It's going to be a 2-part series. This week we're going to address the 3 most common self-sabotaging areas. Main reason being because a lot of people are not aware that they're self-sabotaging their situations. Why I say this is close to my heart is I was a self-sabotager. It's been 8 years, 7 weeks, 4 months and 3 days. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, it has been a while. I used to sabotage a lot of relationships when I was younger. And yeah, it was just from low self-esteem and a lot of different things. So I'm speaking from the heart when I give you these areas of how we're going to do it. And next week, we're going to tell you what to do with them. So without further ado, the first area of self-sabotage I want to address is looking for faults or problems within the relationship. Now, what this means is, and when Bob in his long email, he actually says that he does feel like that he's quite possibly already doing this, and this is part of what he's doing, is he's looking for faults, any faults whatsoever within the relationship. It's like a form of nitpicking, it's a form of taking things personally. So he's self-sabotaging by doing things, but also taking things personally and reacting to them. It's like you're trying to find an argument out of a good thing. Things are going well, and then something inside you clicks and you just go, what? And you start to have an argument about it, and it turns into something and you're like, what's going on here? What happened? Especially when you look back at it. I'm telling you from personal experience. You look back on it and you go, that doesn't even make sense. What was going on there? Why did I do that? And that's where you need to understand that it is a self-sabotage. You're doing it on a subconscious level. You're sitting there going, something clicks inside you and you go, and you just, it might be something little that you find annoying. It might be something that's said. It's something you say. It's something they do. They might even just put their feet up against you in bed at night and you complain and turn into a big thing where they're doing it as a form of love, as we spoke about in one of our other videos about love languages. So you've got to be aware of that. So is that one of your areas that you might be self-sabotaging? Area 2 is your inner voice. What you tell yourself within the relationship. Psychologists will call it, what I'm about to say, a fatalistic talk. Now, what it means is you're saying things in regards to your fate, like, this is never going to work out. My relationships never work out. Why do I even bother? This is just going to turn to crap. You're going to cheat on me. You're going to run off with someone else. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. The problem is, it's not your fate. It's your fear talking. So when your inner voice inside your head says stuff like, you know what? This is how it's always going to be. Or my opinion never matters. Or what I used to say myself is, you know what? They deserve better than this. seriously, I'm not good enough for them. I'm not right for them. They deserve way better than I. I used to say that a lot, and a lot of people, Bob has said it. A lot of my female clients will just say, I'm not worthy. I'm undeserving of this person. They deserve a hell of a lot better. They deserve someone who has their, pardon the language, shit together. And and what you're doing is your inner voice is telling you all this for you then to act in a way of looking for faults just to sabotage it. It's sort of, and as we may have discussed, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know when I talk about the inner voice. Thank you to the great Angela Bradley for her inner voice work over the many years when I've worked with her. But it is about, your inner voice is there to protect you. Now, it's like having a little mini you, a good one and a bad one. And your good one might say, oh, don't listen to the bad one. The bad one has the most empowering effect on you, because it's the one that's coming up with your fear. It's your fear. It's there to protect you. So it's saying little things like, they deserve better than you. You should just let them go. It'd be better if you just let them go, let them find someone deserving and stuff like that. This is where you've got to say, you know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate you looking out for me, but you know what? I actually do think I'm very good enough. I am quite good enough for these people. I have a lot going for me. And you know what? I know you're trying to protect me, but let me take care of this. This is my little thing. So thank you. Acknowledge it, say thanks, move on from there. Okay? And my third area of self-sabotage is allowing others to hurt you. Now, I know you're probably going to go, hang on a sec, I don't allow anyone to hurt me, but I seem to get hurt. Now, let me explain this very clearly, and I have to get this right because I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. If someone hurts you once, it's like the old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. What I mean by this is anyone can hurt you without you knowing. Anyone that hurts you more than once and continues to hurt you on a repeated occurrence, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but on a subconscious level, you're allowing it to happen. Just a bit. You don't even know it. It may be, your upbringing, it may be from something that you've done in the past or whatever else. But you know how I was saying before about your inner voice saying you're not good enough? There are times where we sometimes attract the wrong type of partner. And we seem to attract the same, a lot of my female clients say, for years I've attracted the same douchebags that come along and they treat me like crap, or I'm a handbag, or, they get rough with me, and it can even get really escalated to further, and I don't want to go into that right now. But what happens is you're attracting them, it's the first step. But once they do something once, you've got to say, sorry, that can't happen again. Because if it happens again and you don't say anything, then it'll happen again. If you don't say anything, and it'll happen again, and it'll continue. And this is a form of self-sabotage. What you're doing is you're allowing them to get away with it. You're allowing people, others. Now, and it can even be in a relationship. This can be family members. I know clients and people I've known for years where their parents treat them like this. Their siblings treat them like this. Their friends treat them like this. Oh, well, I'm just the fat friend, so I just go along and let them treat me that way. No, that is a form of self-sabotage. You're allowing others to feed your fear, feed your inner voice, so your inner voice can sit there more and use that abuse, it virtually is an abuse, and feed it like, they don't really treat you that way, that good. They don't really love you. They don't really care about you. Look at their behavior. And that puts your self-esteem lower down. And it starts to feed that fear even more and more and more. And this is where you've just got to go, no. So what I want you to realize in this video is I want you to ask yourself, one, are you allowing your other half to hurt you? Now, I'm not talking about physical hurt because I don't want to go into that area, but that is a form of it, but we won't talk about that today. But are you allowing the other people to treat you badly, speak to you, and make you feel bad? Are you allowing your inner voice to, put you down and take control? Are you laying there at night and you can hear your head going, oh, look at them, they could do better than you, why are you with them? No. And also, are you looking for faults or problems within the relationship? Are you looking for faults, problems within your partner? But what you need to do with these now, and I will give you a tip on what to do, is you need to identify it. You need to understand which one of those, or if it's another form of self-sabotaging, you can Google that if you need to find out anything else, or reach out to me and ask me, tell me what the situation is, and I can explain to you if it is a form of self-sabotage. But once you get an idea of what it is and understand what it is and get some clarity around it, you then can do something with it. You can't do anything if you don't know what you're doing in the first place. So, but at the same time, don't judge. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself feel any worse than you are. Because seriously, I did it for years and I didn't even know that I was doing it. It took me a while to realize it. And then when I realized that, I went, you know what? I don't need any more crap. I don't need to beat myself up about it or anything else. I now know what I'm doing. I can do something about it, right? Once you know, you can do something. And secondly, don't feed it, advice, negativity, etc., stuff like that. What I mean by that is, normally, if we have an issue, we always turn to our BFF, our best friend, our mum, our dad, family members, a sibling and stuff like that. Now, those people are good people. Don't get me wrong. They want to do the best they can for you. They love you. They care for you. But at the same time, there's two things that can happen when you seek someone who is emotionally involved with you, which is, one, they can either support you by saying, yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly what they're doing. They're no good for you and everything else. And you sit there and go, right. And then you walk out of there going, well, my decision's made up, where it may not even be that, because they just want to agree with you to make you feel that you're right. And two, they will say things like they know you better than you. Look, I know that's a sweet thing, and sometimes we can agree that, these people know us better than us, but unfortunately they don't. They might have known us when we were younger, they might have known us as we are with them, but in a whole life, they don't know you. They don't know what's going through your head or your mind or anything else like that. And what I call it is, they thicken the self-sabotage. They really make it even worse than it really is by the advice they give, because they're emotionally connected. And tip 3 on what to do about it is seek a coach like myself, a psychologist or someone like that, who can help you unbiasedly and not emotionally connected to you, but help you seek clarity and give you the steps and strategies to, one, acknowledge and realize what you're doing to sabotage it, and two, what you can do to improve the situation and to, stop the self-sabotage happening. Because I tell you now, it's probably, I reckon, 15, 20 years of my life where I would, get some amazing people in my life, relationships going so well, and all of a sudden it turned to crap. Now, I'm not saying that I took 100% I was 100% responsible for that, but I will say I was 75% responsible for those relationships ending. I don't want you spending 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years of your life destroying relationships through self-sabotage. It's hard, it's unfair, it's not good for you, and really, once you get hold of it, I took a few years off to really sort of get clear on what I was doing, and out of all the things that were happening, the one common denominator was me. So I knew then I had to do something about it. But I'm going to expand on that next week, because in next week's video, I'm going to give you some strategies and some tips on what to do about it. So hopefully this week gives you a bit more clarity. And as I said, Bob, I hope this has helped you, and I'll give you some more strategies in next week's video on what to do about it. But really, today is just to understand what self-sabotage is, how it is a self-harm to yourself, because that's what you're doing. And then once you understand which one of those, or if it's something else in the self-sabotaging category that is ruining your relationships, tune in next week and I'll give you some tips and strategies on what to do. Again, thank you very much. I hope this has helped you, Bob, and everyone else that has been watching. If you are sabotaging your relationships, I hope this has been a great help. Don't do what I do. It took a long years, and now I'm having to help others, and I want to help others do what I don't do what I did. All right. So thank you again. As always, remember to hit the notification and subscribe to these videos so you get an alert each week when they come up. And also, if you're watching this on Facebook, the little 3 dots notifications, click on there and turn the notifications on so you get to know when the videos are up. And always send your emails through to jay@jasonmair.com, and we'll do the best I can to address them and help you give the strategies. Again, look for part 2 next week, and where you'll learn what to do. Again, wherever you are in the world, thank you for watching. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night.